Hello, my name is Ryan Conforti.
And I'm Liam Wilson, and we chose to do our real world issue on automobile emissions and how they affect the environment, and our module was author.
To begin, we're going to read our notes on author and why you'd want to know who the author is of a web page, as well as some examples of websites we use to find information on automobile emissions with and without authors.
So one thing you should ask yourself: why would you want to know who the authors are of a web page? Well, web pages don't undergo the same process that is taken when writing a book, so the information may be unedited, uncited, or even just straight up fake. And when writing a book, a background check is usually performed on the author to make sure that they know what they're writing about. However, an author for a web page may have never had a background check done. So therefore, it is important for you to do a background check on the author and comparing the information for what you already know.
Or will you find an author's name? Sometimes the author's name is displayed at the top or the bottom of the page. Otherwise, the author's name may be found on the About This Site section of a web page. Once you have the author's name, do a background check on this individual. You can also use a search engine to research your author's background. Sometimes there isn't an author's name, which makes it hard to judge the credibility of the information.
How can you learn more about the author's expertise on a particular subject? You could begin by entering the author's name in a search engine. Pair subject keywords with the author's name to search subject-specific databases. By using lots of synonyms in this, you should be able to find out just how much the author really knows about the particular subject, if anything at all. You'll be able to find out if the author just knows some bits of information about the subject, or if they really understand the entire field of the study.
What question should I ask myself when evaluating the author of a web page? Who is the author of the web page? How much experience does the author have in this area? What is the author's occupation? What is the author's educational background? What is the author's reputation among other authors in this particular field?
What should I try and find out about an author of a web page? Well, you should always try to find out the qualifications of an author of a book or a magazine are the same as an author of a web page.
So therefore, you should go through the previous questions, and sometimes you'll have to search within a site for an author. Most web pages have a search bar or a search engine, and you can type in the author's name, along with other keywords to find out how much that author has contributed to that web page. Sometimes you have to dig deep within a site to find information about the author. Our first site was EPA.gov, and it had a good overview of how automobile emissions are created, as well as how, over time, they're affecting the earth.
Since it is a .gov site, we can tell immediately that it's a credible source, and although the information and data is from 1995, it is still okay to use because automobile emissions haven't really changed. The only difference from them and now is that emissions regulations are much stricter.
This is a great source, but its only flaw is that it doesn't have an author, most likely because it is just an overview of a much bigger document that may have been a yearly or monthly report on the issues current to that time period on automobile emissions.
The next source we used has an easy-to-find author and provides background information directly on the page, so you don't have to go searching for information on him through another site.
This site was a credible source because it had an edu address, and the author is a professor at the school. This was also a good site for our issue because it not only had up-to-date information, but it has other information from previous automobile emissions incidents in places like Paris and Hong Kong.
Our final source was a .org site, but the author was hard to find and was embedded in the information. Upon clicking the link on the main website on the full text of report, it will send you to the PDF page, and it has the author on it on the fourth page. So if you scroll through them,
Let this stupid thing load. Alright. There you go.
Yeah, as you can see, there's all of the people that contributed to it.
2006. So I hope you learned something about automobile emissions as well as why you should search for the author of a site. That's all.